Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town. Fuck's sake. Wembley's overrated anyway, isn't it? Let's be honest. But, oh, how embarrassing. Absolutely ridiculous. Rob Smith, that's embarrassing. Correct. Mike D. Losing to Arsenal under 11s. I've had enough of this. After being 2-0 up, might I add, Neil and Steve, welcome back. Full-time show fans react. Town have lost the game on penalties, drew the overall 90 minutes 2-2, having led by 2-0. We've got Ryan Senior. Yeah, like even if you get through, actually remember, I'm actually embarrassed with the club at the moment. Actually play pathetic on the pitch. Surely owners have to smell the coffee soon. And he comes to the conclusion that Paul Lambert's a better manager than Paul Cook. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Neil, what did you make of it?
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned off air, there was one positive amongst the second half, and at least we dug in and had a second wind to try and take the lead again. But as we fully well know, it didn't actually materialise. Piggott did put the ball in the goal, but he was offside. And then the penalties. Yeah. Piggott still hasn't scored from a penalty.
I'm not going to count that because the penalty. But Neil, we're 2-0 up, cruise control. And then, I mean, what the fuck is the goal? Holy 2.0. The ball's gone through
that's
him.
Harsh to Holy, isn't it? Possibly
so. Yeah, apologies to Holy. But it's gone through him twice. What?
Pathetic, isn't it? It's pathetic.
Steve, what did you make of the 90 minutes before you get some fan reaction?
Pathetic. 2-0 up. Looking okay. Good opportunity with Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland both out as well. This was the chance. And then Halagi, absolutely terrible, as he has been all season, to be honest, or most of the season. It was fucking pathetic. 2-0 up and absolutely bottled it.
There's the fact you're 2-0 up and then you go on to lose the game.
To under 21s.
Yeah, always a lot
away from the under 21s. They fought back and they got, they fought back and they played better.
They did.
But,
you're absolutely right. Mr. Town, sorry, disgraced. Miss Chris McBain, it was men against boys. Hold on. It was men against boys. Monty, taxi for Cook. Terry, we actually have a manager worse than Lambert. Neil Perks. Piggott can't buy a goal even when he plays. Mike D. Manager Kevin Betsy made a switch. Again, Cook didn't do anything. Rob Holmes, what happens in that change room at half time? Week in, week out, we don't turn up for the second half. Jem's starting to lose faith with Cook. Benjamin Michael, we've got to go, Gov. What's the other option? Another low emphasis on another. EJ Norris, bloody terrible. That was roll on Saturday FA Cup. Not. Mike D, we've managed to scout someone worse than Holy. Hashtag check Chuckle Brothers and Facebook user. Did you say utterly embarrassing Facebook user? Did you? I think you did.
It's absolutely embarrassing. We've just lost to teenagers.
Again.
It's what is it with under 21s? West Ham's, Arsenal's. It's ridiculous. As much as I wanted to start believing in Cook and have faith, he's not doing himself any favours, really.
Obviously, not counting the COVID crowds. Lowest attendance tonight for 68 years, Neil.
Really?
Yeah. That's understandable.
Why were you? I mean, surely I don't never get these cups. I really don't. I'll get some fan reaction on in a second. We've got some fans coming on. as stuff sort of falls off my shelf. I think he might have hit the desk too hard there. David Prince, done with Cook, no better than Lambert. Jem throwing away another lead yet again. Sarah Davis, that was pretty depressing. Glad I wasn't standing in the cold for that. Yeah, amen to that. Daliana, how shit was Tom Carroll tonight? Don't play him again. Defensive midfielder doesn't defend. Mr. Negative, PC's useless also. I thought Carroll had a good first half, and then I gave him the kiss of death at half time, and he played a really poorly second half, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. He's
Also,
cursed it somehow.
Yeah,
He heard you.
Yeah, he did. He must have done. Lewis Knock, 2-0 against Arsenal kids, and we managed to lose it. It's a complete joke. In-game management must be questioned. Mike Fisherman Brown. What did you make of tonight's new low?
I know football's a game of two halves, but that literally was a game of two halves, wasn't it? It was a first half I actually enjoyed watching it, not because we were winning, but because I actually thought we played quite well. And then I thought, you know what, I'll watch during half time. I'll watch the Liverpool game, and Everton fans were giving their players some stick. And I switched back, and then half time started, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And it was like two different teams came out. The same the Arsenal side that were crap in the first half, and to be fair, they weren't great.
No,
come out and they looked like world beaters, and we went out we looked like a Sunday League side.
Yeah, and what do you put that down to?
Tonight has shown. I'll tell you what tonight has shown. It's shown the likes of Harper. It's shown the likes of Carroll. It's shown the likes of Wolfenden, and it's shown the likes of Hladky that they aren't good enough in this squad. That's what it's told me. Absolutely all day long. Hladky beaten by his near post. Wolfenden not clearing properly. Lack of effort in the midfield. For me, these players just not good enough. They ain't good enough. And as for the manager, Arsenal's manager tactically changed the way they played the second half, and they overrun us. They overrun us on the fullbacks, overrun us in the midfield. And what did Paul Cook do? What he normally does if plan A don't work, plan A with different players. It's just a joke. He's got to go. How can anybody absolutely support Cook and his management? He's absolutely shambolic.
Frustrating
whenever
thing
we're
is,
losing, wherever we need to get a result out of a game, I don't know what he said to them at half time. I feel sorry for Joe Pigott. It's just not working. I think he'll move. If not January, he'll move next season. I don't think he'll be here next season. Jackson looked up for it. He was the only player that really kind of stood out for me. Not because he took his goals well, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought he looked really up for it.
Is it a simple case though, Mike? I mean, is it a simple case of the management switch, the tactical change, again, another coach that perhaps has tactically outwitted Paul Cook? Or was it more this time, actually, do you know what? It doesn't really matter what he did from the sidelines tonight. You got a goalkeeper that's had 2 goals go through him like he's Casper the fucking Ghost.
I think the first one was giving us no G, wasn't it? So I don't know. The first one I'm going to give benefit of the doubt on the first one. But that second one. Look, yeah, I know, but yeah, I agree. I'm not saying I'm going to give it. Look, I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give a benefit of the doubt. The second one shouldn't be beaten in near post like that. It's embarrassing. Hladky really is not good enough. Clearly not. And I enjoyed that first half so much. I was really enjoying it. I was messaging Concha. I said, look, Penny, not good enough. I can see why Clemens is starting now. He's just not. He's just control the ball. It just got rubber. He's got rubber feet.
Yeah,
ball bounces off his feet. And, he did one good move in the second half. Well, he got lucky because he nearly lost it and then recovered from it. He's got the ball out of his feet. But there wasn't enough men on there. No leadership. Burgess didn't look particularly good. There weren't no real leadership. Edwards looked what's name. Selena for me has pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie. That honestly, that penalty. He goes from scoring a worldie, a goal in the season, to taking a penalty like that.
That's flair players for you. That's
not. That's arrogance for you. That's arrogance and petulance. Right? We had enough of that with Giselle, and now we got another one. Just because you scored a worldie doesn't give you the right to take a penalty like that. That was a joke, mate. Honestly, that's what rattled me. That as a coach, I can tell. As a coach, I would drop him for the next game for doing stuff like that. That's
I
not
just don't
me,
understand why
that's
people
saying,
want
look,
to take
I'm
penalties
better
like
than
that.
everybody else.
In
Of course,
a position like that, don't take a penalty like that. Just put it straight in the back of the net. Just power.
Absolutely.
Don't need all
Leather
that
it.
flamboyance, all that flair. You need to win the game. Just take it in the back of the net.
Brexit
Don't worry
penalty.
about all that showing off.
Smash it down in the fucking middle. Have it. Neil Fisherman there said Tom Carroll. No, sorry, not Tom Carroll. Matt Penny, player that he didn't rate today. You can see why Clements is ahead of him. You signalled out, or you spoke about Matt Penny at half time. What do you think of Fisherman's thoughts, and what did you make of Matt Penny's 90 minutes this evening?
I can't say he was particularly the reason we lost.
No.
But no, as was mentioned, he's one of those where things can be going well for us, and then he'll do a poor touch or give it away. And generally, there's players bombing on when he's got possession to try and help out, and he'll then lose it, and then they've got to try and track back, and we can get caught out.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, it was just, for me, it was the goalie, just absolutely terrible. You could question.
It was not just the goalie though, was it? I mean, look, he he's got to make them. He's got to make at least.
Well, the
real
Arsenal
effort to
goalkeeper
make
has
one
won his.
of them saves. One of them saves he's got to make.
Mike, you say that, but the Arsenal goalkeeper has earned his money and won his team the game tonight, because Raheem Harper should have scored. Hell of a chance. How he saved it, I don't know. But that's what a goalie does. You know, he kept them in that game, because that third goal, I think, would have killed him.
It's the only thing he did do.
Yeah, but
bar that he couldn't catch a cold.
No, but the two
No,
guys
he was
before
shocking, that keeper, wasn't he?
No, I disagree. The two guys before that, he had no
Martin,
chance.
Even
no
look,
chance.
I was listening to Ipswich commentary, and they were kept saying he ain't caught a ball all night.
Didn't
This
have
is meant
to
to be
catch
a future, maybe possibly Premier League goalkeeper for Arsenal.
All right.
He couldn't catch. Look, I agree. He couldn't catch a cold. He pulled off a good save from Raheem. But I mean, no disrespect, but he couldn't catch a cold tonight.
If you put a man
Halaki,
on him,
for me, is, definitely not good enough keeper.
No,
maybe for League Two, yeah, but not League One. And
if you put a man on
to get promoted, which I don't think. If fans genuinely think we're getting promoted this season under Cook, you're miles off. Cook's got 9 games, and he's got to try and beat Lambert's record before he was sacked. Close, isn't it?
Yep. Crunchers, please, he didn't waste £10 on that. Well, we all did here, sadly. So if you do want to support the show, Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chats, at least make it a break-even night. Chris Boyd, no matter what the competition, this squad can never back up a performance, win on Sunday, and literally piss it away tonight. As soon as they win, does Cook say pressure off, then they don't bother. Chris Wright, I really liked our liveliness. We went to 2 up and sat back. Same story so often. This tournament was important to keep some of our players sharp. It's all to a never-changing formula. Monty, it seems nothing's learned from being top again. That's not a sign of competent tactics. The Robson Blue Boys, not Cook's fault. Players leave Cook alone. Sloppy middle cost us the game. Ryan Senior, if we kept the squad from last season and brought Burns, Edmondson and Bonning, I think we would have been a better chance of promotion. Simon Harris, Barry will be thinking easy game on Saturday. Happy for a draw with our home form that's predictable. Gary paid £10 and got 25 pence worth of efforts.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, Steve says.
Chris, look, first half for me, I thought we played really well. I think we looked structured for the first time in a long while. I felt we've looked structured, and it was just the second half. I couldn't understand what happened.
That happens every game. Every game that happens.
What does he say to them in the halftime talk? What goes on?
We're a half game team. Always are. One good one, one poor one.
What does he say at half time? Does he say, like, yeah, you've got 2 goals, so you're okay? You can afford to sit back a bit?
Do you know this fella, Mike, fishing with Nick?
No.
Oh. So there you go. Yeah. There you go. I asked that pre-game show, and I didn't see a reply from him.
All fishermen know each other.
Not all fishermen know each other. This is shocking.
I might
Mike.
I've
got a friend for you.
Revelation.
You have a fisherman friend. Fisherman friend.
The players. Nothing wrong with a fisherman friend. All right, they're good for your throat.
Actually, they actually are. I've got some in the drawer just here. I just love a good fisherman's friend. Yeah. The players who most need this competition had their chance. How many took that chance? Caden Jackson. That's
the only one.
He is the only one. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Facebook.
I agree
Lucky,
there.
yeah.
He was.
Told you would. I told you would. Did
Yeah,
they?
but let's be fair. Let's be fair. Okay, you know, he really didn't have much competition tonight, did he?
Wow, no, he didn't.
Because you know, I mean, based on that second half performance, look. I mean, I think who was commentating with Brenner tonight? I can't think of the latter. But all I can say is he was saying, "Oh, a bit surprised Wolfie doesn't get enough game time." I'm like, "Did you see him for the second half?" You know, that's why he doesn't get enough game time, because he's not good enough as a centre back. I even questioned Burgess tonight. I wasn't comfortable with Burgess.
Burgess, yeah, no, dropped off massively. Big. Yeah, what do you make of Burgess, Neil, as a centre half? We've paid good money for him. What do you make of him?
I always felt myself just inconsistent. You can be on it for, say, 90% of the game, and then that mistake can ruin you.
Mm.
I didn't really presume that happened with professionals as much, but we seem to pick him up, don't we?
His big flaw, though, Mike, is his pace, and that worries me, because anytime he comes up against a player that's got half a yard of it, he looks like a fish out of water, to use one of your puns.
Yeah, I actually think Burgess' best game I've seen him play is a left back.
Yes, Wickham away.
I thought he was brilliant. I
Totally
genuinely
agree.
thought he looked naturally good in that position. So you know, as a manager, you would think, you know what, he had his best game. You know, as a manager of any, I listen to parents of my team, and and I think, actually, that's not a bad show. I might give that a go. You know, and you think yourself, you know, but as a manager of a big club like Ipswich, and we are a big club, I don't care what anybody says, we are a big club. You can't help thinking, well, actually, if enough fans are saying it, maybe there's something I should be trying. You know, because you know, if you've got 20,000 fans at a stadium thinking the same thing, they can't all be wrong. You know, so
I guess managers
don't see it that way, do they?
About Piggott. His confidence shot. I blame Cook. That penalty tonight, he was unlucky. It was, you know, it could have, you know, probably scooped it a bit too much. Do you know what? Right now, I think Jackson's ahead of him if he's going to play anyone, because Jackson scored, and unfortunately, Piggott hasn't again.
No, yeah, you got.
And I don't blame Piggott. I think he's been left out in the cold, and I think Cook's ruined him. You don't come to a team like Ipswich, having scored the amount of goals he did last season, and sit on the bench like he has, and have 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I mean,
you see glimpses of it. You see glimpses of it, like when it was offside. I don't think it was offside, but he's put it in the net. You see glimpses of it.
Yeah.
But he needs minutes. He really does. Mike, we're going to let you go. Real pleasure having you on, as always.
All right, guys, take care.
We'll speak soon.
I thought it was offside, to be honest.
Don't forget, you're on next Wednesday.
Am I? Oh, yeah.
You
all right.
certainly
No
are. See you then. Look after yourself. Get a few comments, then we'll bring somebody else in. We've got the Bobby Robson Blues. I know Brian had a good start, but I don't think we have a proper striker. Jackson had a good game. But I think it's a one-off. Mr. Ipswich Town, welcome in, my friend. Not seen you here for a while. Now can people see why Piggott doesn't start? He's done nothing tonight. The squad is nowhere near good enough. No point giving us false hope thinking we had a quality squad. Fishing with Nick. Yes, Mike, when we're playing long ball, physical teams, Burgess as left back isn't a bad tactic. Benjamin Michael, I actually feel sorry for the owners. They're gulping their ambition and our talent is so wide. Wonder if they're making plans.
I think that's one thing that's got to be there now, isn't it? We're not dealing with Marcus Evans now, who's happy to sit back and just let things play out. We've got people who want and demand success.
Yeah, I think. Do you think it's interesting, Steve, that as we go through and people start saying, "Oh, maybe the recruitment isn't good enough or the squad's not," the more you sort of look at the recruitment side of it, which obviously is above Cook, is that going to put more pressure indirectly on Cook? Because obviously nobody likes to think they've made a mistake. So the executives, the recruitment, they're all going to say, "Well, it's not our players; it's the way you're coaching them."
Yeah, I may well agree with that, because the squad we've got, you know, we're lucky to have some of those players in League One with the ability they've got. And even tonight, obviously, wasn't the strongest team, and that was still a decent side for a cup game. We've got the players to do well. It's just how they're being managed. What goes on in that halftime team talk, to come out with such, like you said earlier, a team of two halves. What goes on and what is he saying? And how does he they just don't seem motivated.
I just don't get how we can pretty much hand pick some of the best performers from this division, and then now they're in our hands. They're useless.
Well, for a lot of fans, such as Max Bright here, who's lost faith in Cook, that will come down to the management. That will come down to not being like I heard something recently, and it's really stuck with me and resonated that you can have good players, but good players will only get you so far. You've got to have tactics. You've got to have tactics. You've got to have man management. You've got to have everything to go with those good players. Now, I've got no doubt Paul Cook's a really good man manager. He's a great guy. I like the man himself. We've heard from players, we've heard from other people that says Paul Cook is a great guy. But tactically, is he on it as he needs to be, Neil?
No. The problem is, I always felt Lambert was a little bit of a one-trick pony. He came out and just done the one tactic, and he would shoehorn anyone into that. And I thought that was his problem. But the players he'd done it with, and his record is beaten Cook's. It's just ridiculous.
Well, Cook did progress past the group stage of the Papa John's Trophy. We're not talking about here tonight. So that's
by a bit of luck.
Possibly so. I mean, you look at this. Go on, Steve.
So the difference between the squad we had last year and the squad we had this year is absolutely insane. The upgrade we've made, and let's say some of those players, people like Kyle Edwards, have done well to get him in League One. Macaulay Bond, getting him on loan. Bursan Salina. Some of the players we've got, Christian Morton, are better than League One. Most of them are better than League One, and yet we're sitting, what are we, 11th currently in the table? I think in the league.
Well, yeah, 12th. But I disagree.
And we've now gone out to Arsenal's kids.
On Edwards, just after seeing him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
I think he's not quite the finished product, obviously.
Yeah, he came here thinking. I was thinking, we've done very well to get him in League One. But yeah, okay. To be fair, I might retract it on Edwards. But there's a lot of players that we've got that you think these guys are better than the league they're in. But as a team, they just don't seem to click, and it doesn't seem they're being managed very well.
No,
so
Cruncher, we've
what
got good
could a better
individuals.
manager get out of them?
Well, the Cruncher, we've got good individuals, but not a good team. Fisherman says, nice guy, clueless manager. I just think of Chelsea, like they had the same squad under Lampard, wasn't sort of going anywhere. But then Tuchel came in, knew what he was doing with the tactics board and turned him into what, and that's obviously much better players, but we're dealing with players that should be much better, perhaps. I don't know. It's early days. It's really difficult because obviously he's taking a bit of flack tonight, as he's going to just be knocked out of a cup competition. Brandon Carr losing in this competition with your B team will not change his job security. James B. Jackson's obviously.
I'm not sure you can particularly say it was a B team.
Well,
it wasn't the league starters, but can you class some of these guys as B team quality?
Going from goalie was first choice until he was a last minute replaced.
Yeah.
Left back was first or second choice, depending on if you would say Coulson was then meant to be first choice.
Yeah,
and then you've got Burgess was got in to be first choice. He was even captain tonight. And then Carroll, it comes in with great quality. Yeah, Wolf was supposed to be fighting for the first team.
KVY was Paul Lambert's marquee signing.
Yep. And then throughout this team, other than Jackson, who is potentially was pushed to the wayside and is being told, fight for your place, and then Piggott with his record. I just don't see Edwards. He's been playing a lot of first team football. There's so many of those that are basically first team choices.
I think the way we've lost tonight is probably why the feeling from the live chat, the feeling from the guests. So I've got Josh coming on just a second. Lloyd is also waiting, but his screen to me is all just static. So I'm not sure if Lloyd can sort that out. If he can't, then I can't get him on, but do try. If not, sadly, no. I just think why it's such. I won't say negative, just disappointing. I think it's because it's the way we've been beaten. 2-0 up. With what you just said there, Neil, was a fairly decent squad. It's 11 changes, yes, but it's a squad that if you read that out as a League One team, you would still consider it to be better than half the league. But they've taken a 2-0 lead, and then they've surrendered the 2-0 lead, and there's been little to no tweaks, tactical changes from the sidelines, which again I believe plays into the theme so far of the season, which is why maybe one of you tell me if you feel I'm wrong, which is why I feel like there's a lot of conversation tonight about cooking the way there is. Is that fair to say, do you think?
The fact that he's even fighting to get Lambert's record, considering the gulf in quality on the pitch, is just a joke.
Brandon says, flip the halves around, people would be half pleased. Yes, but it's not, is it? That's like saying if my point was half full, not half. Well, that's bollocks. Don't know where I was going with that one. That's going to be the same fucking thing. Try again. MW Jackson popped up to score 2 goals, went anonymous for the rest of the game. It is cold ball as anyone for losing that. David says in December we could be at the Papa John's FA Cup and the promotion race. I never felt so low as an Ipswich Town fan and followed them since 1982/3. Josh, what did you make of tonight's performance?
Oh, it's embarrassing. Our second half was embarrassing anyway.
What did you make of it? Embarrassing? Why? Talk to us. What are you thinking?
Threw away a 2-goal lead against people that are younger than me. Like, I'm 22 and all their teams younger than me. Like,
Good players though. Play for Arsenal.
Yeah. Like, okay, they're Arsenal players, but they're kids. Our players, like we've said, that squad should be beating them easily.
Brandon's got it. If my nan had will, should be a bike. You've got it in one. Callie, MW scored goals. What did the defence do? Under 10 players. Give credit where it's due. Yeah. Why did we lose tonight then? Josh, 2-0 up. Cruise control. What happened? Talk me through it. Why did we lose?
Go 2-0 up and sit back, and then they punish us for sitting back. Because again, it's lack of in-game management, late substitutions, again, who make no impact when you bring them on with 10 minutes to go. It's pointless. You might as well not make any.
Okay. Jackson got his got 2 goals. What do you make of Caden's performance tonight?
I think you touched on it before, didn't you? He's the only one that took his chance tonight. Everyone else shouldn't be anywhere near that first team in the league.
Include Joe Pickett?
Yeah. He's not scored again, missed a penalty again. I'm worried because if Bond goes back to QPR, your backup strikers aren't great, are they?
No. Obviously, we could look to strengthen that in the window. We also talked about. Okay, let's go there. My player of the year, Raheem Harper. What did you make of his performance tonight?
He was poor, wasn't he? Absolutely dreadful. She shouldn't be. I mean, I know he's young, still got time to develop, but for me, at the moment, he's just not ready. Just not ready for first team football for me. Just not ready, Steve. What do you think about Raheem Harper?
Yeah, let down again tonight. Yeah, he's a player that he came here with quite a bit of fanfare.
Should have scored though. It was a great.
Yeah, it's just it's saying this about quite a lot of our team. You know, they came here with such fanfare, and they've just been a bit of a letdown, really. You know, we had the same thing with Kyle Edwards, the same thing with Joe Pickett. Came here with quite a lot of celebration with them coming here, I suppose, and they've just got nothing really to show for it. You know,
I don't think he's any more of a letdown than Evans is.
Right back for the cruncher. Thank you very much, my brother.
No, Evans has been a letdown
had a
as
good
well.
Start, and then just
Evans got that hat trick against Doncaster, and then that's basically all he's done.
I didn't even know he came on the pitch.
Yeah, he made 3 changes all in once, didn't he?
When he took his penalty and they said Evans, I thought Brenner had made a mistake. I was like, well, Evans, when the fuck did he come on?
It was a good pen though.
Not criticising the penalty. Not criticising the penalty. But again, anonymous. All right, Josh, we're going to bring Lloyd on in a second. I won't ask you about your feelings on Paul Cook because that's very clear and obvious.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. Look after yourself, Josh.
Thank you, and you.
Thank you very much. Look after yourself. We've got Daniel losing the lone players in Ipswich in big trouble. Josh, people say it's the pizza cup and doesn't matter, but it's a matter in how we let Leeds go and play awfully. It's a bad habit, guys, of the competition. Fair point.
That's the thing. That's the main thing. Obviously, it's frustrating we lost, but it's the manner of how we lost.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had
it
it in the
bothers.
bag.
Yeah, and also because we're so close to London, I know some Arsenal fans, so it bothers me that
Brilliant.
not only are we playing their kids, you've then got the embarrassment of losing 0 to their kids.
Yeah, we're starting not to be able to call ourselves a big club anymore, aren't we?
Yeah. We call it Tin Pot, this competition, but in reality, is it Tin Pot or are we the Tin Pot ones? Like this is the new low.
Well, it's looking like we're going to spend another season in League One, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We'll bring Lloyd
And then
in.
struggling to beat under 21 teams in a cup again.
Yes. Lloyd, how are you?
Cold.
Yes, obviously at the game tonight. He's our cameraman, light extraordinaire. For those that don't know at home, Lloyd, what was it like being there tonight? You say cold, but what was the atmosphere like? First of all, was it good?
It was pretty dire. Wasn't great. But it's just the manner of us throwing 2-0 leads away again. Whether it be 1-0 or 2-0, throwing them away too easily again. Which is
absolutely
becoming a current occurrence now. It's just getting ridiculous. And I know it's against Arsenal under 21s, but still, it's not good enough.
Mr. Ipswich Town, €5. Thank you very much. Maybe one third of a taxi fare for that team to go home. Shambles, no characters. Always said it. Once we concede, we seem to fall apart. Lloyd, we were 2-0 up. You must have thought, oh, I'm so pleased I've come tonight. Going to see us progress. Brilliant. Maybe they'll give me a discount in the final. Who knows? And then what happened? How did we go from 2-0 to 2-2?
To be honest, I don't think Arsenal's first goal should have counted because I don't think that even went out for a corner.
Right,
the player, I think, because I was right in front of it, and I think the player shot. I don't think it deflected off any of ours because it went over the bar, and I'm watching the ball fucking come back so I don't get it thrown at me. But I turn around and they're having a corner. I was like, oh fuck's sake! And of course they end up scoring from it, but it was poor goalkeeping.
And as you were right behind the first one, you'd be right behind the second one. How did you see his performance for the second one?
Still shocking. Not good enough. Too easy.
Yeah. Talk to me about Pigott. What do you make of his performance?
Looks like a person that's still trying to find his way in the game, isn't he?
Sadly so.
He did have that one chance, but it was offside. But you can tell easily he needs more game time, whether it's with the first team or even with the younger side. Just give him a run. He needs that match fitness, and he doesn't have it. He doesn't have that sharpness, and I feel sorry for him because obviously he's come here to play for us, but he just needs that game time, which I'm sure if he did, he'd be hopefully doing what he did at Wimbledon for us. But at the moment, he's not producing because he's just not getting the chances, and Macaulay Bond's dried up a bit, hasn't he? So where's the goals going to come from? Our midfield potentially, our number 10s, our wingers, but at the moment our strikers aren't producing.
Good point. Lloyd, get warm, all right?
All right, thank you very much.
Get yourself warm, and we'll speak soon. Neil, where are the goals going to come from? Great point by Lloyd.
Well, is Jackson going to get first team football?
No, well, as I was saying to you earlier, and as I said to people online about James Norwood, when they've said about him coming into the setup, if you were giving 20 minutes every game to Pigott and he wasn't performing, maybe, but there's not minutes there to give anybody else, let alone your third or fourth striker. So
but the thing is, you could say Jackson, he could play out wide like he did today. So he's not really, if you're going to have Bon in for 90 minutes, whether he scores or not, whether his drought will continue or not, then it doesn't matter, does it? Because you're playing him out on the right.
What, ahead of Aluko or Burns? That's not going to happen, is it?
But if Burns is injured, if Aluko only plays 60 minutes.
Yeah. I'll bring you back in again, Steve, in just a second. I want to get your thoughts, Neil, as you're a fan of my sort of years. From Callie, this could be a blessing in disguise. Heard the chant, follow the town up or down. Some of you need to deep the words, because not going to lie, unless we win every game, you lot throw toys out of the pram. What would you say back to the king there, having followed the town for as many years as you have?
I'm not really sure on what he's trying to pinpoint, but
Well, he's trying to say that if we don't win every game, we throw our toys out of the pram. And have you heard the chant up or down? Like tonight is a down, so you should be following the town.
well, still here. We'll be next week.
There you go. There you go.
But I think we're still in the mindset that we should be winning games like this. We're 2-0 up and then throwing it away. Whoever is supposed to be keeping them, giving it 100% the whole game, or at least if you concede the first one, to round the players up, take 10 minutes of possession and just stop them from being able to get that quick second. Whoever should be doing that isn't doing it.
Absolutely. Ryan Senior, Cali, we won 7 games out of 20 in the league. Went one promotion. What are you on about? Cruncher says, throwing the toys out of the pram. How apt after losing the babies from Arsenal. You could almost say
It's absolutely embarrassing.
Thank you very much, Matt Phillips, for your valued contribution. Who says he doesn't do shows he's not a part of? Haladki, let's do some team ratings then as we get some more comment from the chat. You've also got the link in the chat if you want to come on the show and have your say about anything to do with your football club, be that good, bad, or indifferent. Haladki, Neil, what would you give him tonight?
2, and that's because he saved a penalty.
2. Wow. Oh, wow. Are you going to veto that score, Steve, or are you going to agree with it?
I will definitely agree with that. Shocking.
2. Okay, right. Vincent Young, Steve. Paul Lambert's marquee, or one of Paul Lambert's marquee signings. What do you make of his performance tonight?
4.
4. Okay. Did you not rate his performance at all? I thought he did okay. I thought he looked smart.
It was okay. Didn't do sort of what I expected him to maybe push a little bit harder forward, but
Got an own goal.
yeah, there you go. That's partly what's
great
brought him
finish.
down a little bit. You know, I know it's obviously sometimes it can't be helped, but I'll say 4 on that one.
It's a great finish, though, wasn't it? Let's be brutally honest. I mean, you know, he's
Just
just
the wrong bloody end.
definitely knocked it past Ladkey. Don't forget, guys, if you're not yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Talking Town, the platform for fans by fans of Ipswich Town, whether you are positive, negative, up, down, left or right, it does not matter. This is your platform. Mike D, I heard the Arsenal lot didn't want extra time because they've got primary school in the morning. Bum. Humes Bakery, Paul Cook had his squad tailor-made for him. The excuse of Jennings is now gone. Not good enough for a team that has spent the amount of money. And Cruncher, Cook still gets the season for me. Fails to get in the playoffs, and he can get in the bin. Wolf, Neil, what did you make of his performance?
He was solid enough. 5.
5. Okay. So we've got a 2, a 4, and a 5. We're going up. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, 2, 4, and a 5. We're going up slowly. Burgess, Steve.
I'll probably go 5, I think, again.
Yeah, 5. A few times he got caught out, didn't he? But overall, the two of them weren't particularly great or poor. 5's in the middle. Penny, Steve, Neil. Has Penny done enough tonight, Neil, to force his way back into the 11 for Charlton if Charlton was tomorrow, or is he still a million miles away?
I don't think he's a million miles away. The biggest problem is if we had to come away from this with 2-0 win, you would say, yep, throw him straight in, because I technically believe that he is the better out of the two. But with how it ended up and with his slight little errors, it just brings the whole downer on it, and you think Clements has the shirt, let him continue.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you give him out of 10?
I don't believe he was at fault for either of the goals, and he had some good moments. 5, maybe pushing a 6.
Okay, 5 pushing a 6. We've got Vince Bird. We're so far off the playoffs. No sign of putting a run of result together. Going to the play, same formation every week. No surprise to who we are playing. Brandon, I would play our best 2 fullbacks, which is KVY and the Don. Both can and have experience either side. Do you feel actually in the long run, Steve, before we carry on with the player rating, this could really hurt how do I word this? hurt morale among the fan base. If you're going to head towards League One obscurity this year, you're not going to make the playoffs. You're going to be inconsistent, finish 10th, 11th, 9th, 8th. Could this little run and possible eventual Wembley playoff have kept some positivity flying around the fan base for a lot longer?
Yeah, I think so. Because although the league might be slipping away, you still got a chance to. You got a chance to get some wins in. You got a chance to get some kind of silverware at the end of it.
Distraction.
Yeah, and that would sort of make up for, for missing out on top 2 or playoffs, whatever it may be. But I think part of it now is something like, right, okay, we're out of a cup. It's looking like we're not going to make the playoffs. Who knows how far we're going to get in the FA Cup, if we're even going to get past Barrow.
Well, you're not going to get too far, even if you do, are you? Because you would have thought by the 4th or 5th round you're going to encounter a Premier League side or a Championship side. So you've possibly got 2, maybe 3 games left in that.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to be in with a chance of getting to a final or something like that. So as soon as we're out of the FA Cup, then you've got no. Obviously, we're already out of the Carabao Cup, and then you've got Pete's Trophy as well. That's all the cups gone, and you've got no chance of. It looks like we've got no chance of getting promoted at all as well. So it's just going to bring morale down amongst the fans as well. So all right, we're going to go to a game, but we're going to really get nothing out of it, to be honest. So
yeah, I just think I think about tonight. I think about how people were excited about this is a chance to get to Wembley. It could have just brought a little bit more positivity, and now it's gone. You're going to get right into the thick of the League One action and never have a breather. And that's going to be the good or bad. Was it
the year we won the FA Cup or the UEFA when the league itself wasn't going particularly well, but we still got a cup victory out of it?
Yeah.
We had something.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant.
Even if you don't end up winning the Papa John's, just having the chance of still getting to Wembley and then possibly getting to Wembley provides that positive distraction, do you feel, Neil? That, otherwise now, if you look at it, you're going to go Charlton, Sunderland, Lincoln, Wickham, Wimbledon, Gillingham. Suddenly you're right into the thick of the league, and that puts a bigger microscope on the league because you've got no distraction.
Very much. When I don't want to be negative about what's going to happen against Barrow, but if by some miracle we make it to another game in the cup, so we beat Barrow, after we lose to the next team, it is all down onto the league. And yeah, I know there's several people saying, oh yeah, we're still going to get promoted this season, which it'll be an amazing run if we do, because we basically aren't going to lose a game from here on out. I can't see that happening until the reality sets into people and they work out that the league's nothing either this season.
Yeah, we got Terry. When Cook is interviewed, he talked like a pundit who has no ability to actually influence the team and is just waiting for someone else to fix it. Hume, there's a chance of me working over in LA. Nice. When the playoffs are playing next year, I was worried I might miss it. Not much of a chance of that at the moment. The cruncher, culture, and standards. El Mizani, Steve, what do you think of his performance tonight? What do you give him out of 10?
Like a 5 or 6, I think.
Okay, 5 or 6.
Solid.
Yeah, a few nice touches. Faded towards the end. Carroll, man of 2 halves, Neil. 45, he'd got 9 out of 10. Second 45 from me, would have got 3 out of 10. How did you see his performance?
Pretty much the same. Yeah, I agree with what Steve said about El Mazzani. His good closing down was good. So, but yeah, for Carroll, I don't think we can give him much more than a 5, can we? That second half was so poor. It really dragged down his first half performance.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah. So 5, do you think?
Yeah.
Team of 5.
Yeah, he didn't. Well, ended up losing against under 21s, didn't we? No one's going to get scored that highly.
Absolutely. Well, and next person might not get the 5. Steve. Edwards, sorry. What did you make of his? He did very little tonight. Very quiet. What did you think of his performance?
3, 3.5.
3. Neil, what did you make of Edwards' performance?
First half, he was okay, but as per usual, can beat a man now and again, but that was about it. Faded away. I no more than a 5, but I would probably have given him a 4. It's not
I was
enough.
really disappointed with his performance tonight here. I just felt a lot more is in that. He's got so much ability, and tonight he could have taken over the game really, but didn't.
You just think that the ability he's got, and then you've got Jackson over the other side, who for me plays a bit like Danny Haynes. It's all legs. That's his game. Just run, and yeah, when you've got Edwards with all of that ability, and he barely looks half the player
at the moment. Yeah. Hard to argue after Caden Jackson's got 2 goals. Biggin of which Caden Jackson. Then Steve, what would you give him out of 10 tonight?
I'll probably go 6.5, 7. 6.5 really. Yeah, 2 great goals, but he went a bit anonymous late on, but I think he was one of the more standout players on the team tonight.
Yeah, 6.5 or 7.
I don't think he was helped. First half, you had El Mazzani, him, and KVY all closing down early, and they worked well as a unit. But second half, it just faded away. You then had, as we have in the league, odd individuals chasing up, and then basically it just gets passed around them. It's just a stupid idea. And Jackson kept doing his movement and things, kept working hard, but he just faded away, as did the team. But then you've got to say he scored 2 goals. Where's the rest of the team helping him out with the scoring?
It's very true. It is. You are right there. Go on.
I would have given him a 7, possibly an 8. He was the only real standout for us.
So it's, without rating the other 2, which we'll do in a second, he's by far our man of the match tonight then.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Lee Anderson, these cup games have no bearing on Cook's future. He won't want me to be judged on league form. I do agree with that, Lee. Which is that going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier? And obviously then the problem is now, Neil, there's no more there'll be little, if no distractions from Saturday. And the focus is purely on that league form, which at the moment, maybe atrocious is too strong, but I'll use it anyway, atrocious.
Well, you won't have long, and surely others will start agreeing it's atrocious. I still can't believe he's being compared to Lambert's record. I think that says it all.
Wow, there you go. Joe Piggott, Steve.
4.
4. Neil. 4 from Steve for Joe Piggott. I mean, it wasn't great, was it?
First half, when he came deep and he got caught in possession and we almost conceded from it. Happened a couple of times. Other than that, he had some great turns. He'd done some cracking through balls, and yeah, he was good. He just didn't score, and could potentially say wasn't he offside? But yeah, again, his name's not on the score sheet. Oh, I wouldn't say he was that poor. We've had games where Bon hasn't scored, and he's put in just as much effort, and we've gone, there's no reason why he wouldn't play next game. I don't think he's done anything for us to particularly say is not good enough.
No, agree with that. The chat are telling me, though, that was a mile offside, so we'll take their words for it. Last man, Raheem Harper, Steve.
I'll probably go for a 5. I think 5. At a push, to be honest.
I'd potentially go 4, 4.5.
I'm pushing it with a 5.
Disappointing night. Matt Reeve, if we would have won on penalties, people's opinion would be totally different. Yeah, but we didn't. If we now had Will should be a bike. You know, you would have, if we would have won on penalties, we'd have been disappointed we considered 2 goals, would have spoken about how we considered the 2 goals, but been happy about winning, looking forward to who we're getting in the next round and still having the Wembley dream alive. We're not. And for a lot of fans, for a lot of people, maybe the 2 on the screen here, it's the same frailties, the same problems, regardless of who's being picked, etc. Mike D, what would you give Paul Cook, Gov? Steve, Neil, what would you 2 give Paul Cook? I won't answer that. It's not my show.
A 3.
Well, I'd have to lift the lid first. and then you can get in it.
Fair enough. There we go. Don't forget you can support us on YouTube, Super Chats, and through Ko-Fi. We are back tomorrow night from 8. No, we're not. Tomorrow's Thursday. This is not a Tuesday show. Fuck me. I only got caught out there. Look, we're not back tomorrow. We are back on Friday at 8:30. Oh, you'll like this one, Neil. On the show Friday is myself, the media mogul Matt Phillips, and the Don, Robert Davies, will be joining us. We're looking ahead to the Barrow game. We'll have more reaction to this game. Maybe things will look different come Friday afternoon.
I just want to be happy with this bloody team. I want them to perform, and we can come away delighted with them. Just get on with it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I
Not
agree.
too much to ask for, is it?
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us